was thinking when I was pulling all this stuff together yesterday, that there's some stuff that we've gone over in the past that would probably be pretty smart to go over right now, since we're talking about, and we've been talking about with Jose's class, systems and time management and all those different things. So there was a couple of things that I pulled out that I thought we could just go over real quick, just to see where everybody is. I'm not doing a rundown of asking people. I want to throw this out. We go to that?
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me. Sorry.
Yes.
Your voice, everything's really choppy on your end. I don't know if it's my connection or if everybody else.
Is everybody else hearing us be really choppy?
It's a little choppy, yeah.
Let's put Sean on.
Okay, is that better?
Is that better? Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think Sean was in his car, so we were getting some of his background noise.
All right, let's share our screen. Which one you want
Let's
first?
do by memory or design. Okay,
Are
great.
you guys able to see it all?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we went, I don't know, it's been a few months, but we were talking about this, and I pulled this out because I think it kind of rolls into what we've all been talking about. Like, are we doing things by, okay, I think I've got that, you know, I think I'm following up, I think I'm doing this, I think I'm doing that, or are we actually doing it by design? We actually doing it as part of our system. So I pulled this out because I think this is, and obviously any of this stuff you can make yours. This isn't, you know, you got to do it this way or you'll never be successful. No, this is just an idea of here's what you could do if you had a habit or a system or a discipline in the morning and through the day. Here's what that might look like. So you start the day off and it says a beneficial morning routine. And guys, that can be anything. You could be a workout fiend. You can read motivational stuff. You might just like cooking breakfast and that's your routine. You know, you read something, you have gratitudes. What are those called? Not gratitudes. Affirmations. Thank you, Kylie. Which are great, by the way. That brings you back into the fold of, you know, that you have gratitude, that, you know, this isn't all, you know, I'm not just going down the spiral of whatever that is. I've got really good things going on here. That's a really good thing to do, affirmations. But anyway, any of those things, start off that way because that kind of jump starts your mind into where you want to go. Okay, then CEO time. CEO time. Okay, so you've done your thing, you feel good, you've worked out, you've done your affirmations, you've read, you've cooked, you've done whatever that is. CEO time. CEO time is you go over your goals, you go over whatever obstacles that you're running into, things that are working, you want to do more of that, and you just kind of review your business. So some of that would be market intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So market intelligence, why is market intelligence even important?
Jamie raised her hand.
Oh, hi, Jamie.
Hey, I am so sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing like a PowerPoint?
Oh, you guys can't see it?
No, I'm seeing like a file folder.
So I did a, okay, let's see if we can renew share. Now are you seeing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it's like a Word
Okay.
document now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Yep. We're good now.
Yeah, we just do that kind of stuff on just to be fun to see if you guys are paying attention. Okay, so this makes it more fun because you can actually see what I'm saying now. Okay, market intelligence. Why do we even do market intelligence? Why do we even look at the market? Anybody?
So we can know what's going on. Keep
And
on
why would that be important, Jamie?
ourselves.
Right, in case somebody asks you, hey, how's the market? That happens, right? Especially if they know you're a real estate agent.
You find
What's
out
up in the market? What's going on?
how. I mean, now you're in Scottsdale, Oregon. You came from this town,
Yeah.
Illinois, Highland, Illinois.
Hold on.
Skip one town though, because when I married my husband, we were kind of floating around deciding what we wanted to do, and I don't know.
Hey,
It's a good time to do it.
somebody is sharing, there you go.
That's very.
I was like, what
I
in
can tell
the
you,
world?
This could actually be a good Saturday Night Live skit.
Okay, guys.
Like, what?
You know what? That's a good one.
What in the hell going on with the Zooms? Oh, God.
Sorry, guys. Hold on, we're going. All right, can you guys still see the memory or design?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
all
Thank you.
right, great, okay. So Jamie was correct. We want to do that because we want to look like that we know what's going on and being an expert to answer questions for a variety of things. If we're doing real estate reviews, or if we're just talking to somebody and calling them up and saying, hey, what's going on? They're gonna ask you what's going on, and you can kind of tell them what's going on. Role playing, nobody likes doing that, but it's fantastic to do because it makes you better about what you're doing. Whether it's your listing presentation, your real estate review language, objection overcomers, all this builds confidence that when you get hit with this, it's not like, oh, whoa, holy wow. It's no, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, because you practiced it. Makes you good, really improves your percentages. Your follow-up. I'm just putting this down here. If you don't know what you're supposed to do in a day, these things could be helpful. Follow-up, prospects, database, sphere of influence, track yesterday's activity, daily scoreboard. How did I do? How many attempts did I make? How many did I talk to? How many appointments did I set? How many appointments held, etc. This is all things you want to look at some point during the day. Your pending checkup, listing checkup, buyer checkup. How are things going? How am I doing? What do I need to be doing? Social media posts, Facebook, Instagram, etc. If you're doing that on a weekly, daily basis, are they scheduled? Are they good to go out? Go on your appointments, and then you get your afternoon follow-up. This, folks, if you use this and say, okay, by memory or design, which way are you working? Which way are you working? Are you working by memory? Or are you doing something along the way where you're actually using something like this that you would check the box and say, I got that done, got that done, got that done, and then you did it the next day. How many of you think you're working by memory or by design? By hands? Memory? Kinda? There's nothing wrong
Oh,
with that.
that's right.
And then by design, how many think you're working by design? Sean, Joe, yeah. So the thing about working by memory is that it's not that you won't get things done. You might not get all you want to get done. And if you do it by design, you force yourself almost to work off of a checklist that says, okay, I got 5 out of 7 things done today. But if you do it by memory, you're not even really checking it off, are you? You're just kind of like, oh, I got through the day, let's go to the next day. So I just encourage you guys to come up with, and I'll send this out to anybody who wants this. This is just I think, let's see, beneficial morning meeting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 things on here by memory or design. So if any of you guys want this, just to use this to put, Jamie, you want this? Great.
Yes.
It's just something to make yourself accountable to yourself. Talking about other things by design. I ran across this. You guys all get the breakthrough broker that comes through with integrity? Okay, yeah, let's do that. We're going to share it, but and the funny thing is, when we get this up, I even did this yesterday just for fun. It's really easy to do. You can personalize it. See how I did that?
Are you guys all seeing the roadmap?
Can you guys see? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you guys see it?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. So the reason I pulled this up is we're kind of staying on the same topic here, right? Memory, design. Okay, this is a good thing to have. Just when you got your buyers, just throw them this. Boom. And because I think the more they know, the more they trust you, the more confidence they have in you. That's why you would do this. This gives them a step by step by step thing all the way to closing. And you can, if you're with them face to face, give it to them. If you have met with them and you send it to them afterwards. One of the things we talked about a week or two ago is if you know every time that you're going to do this, make a video of it and say, hey, the next steps, we're so excited to get started with this buyer. And you just talk to them about the next steps. Or listing. Hey, so excited about listing your home. Here's what the next steps will be. And you send that to them in a video text. If you know you're going to do that every time, which you probably should tell them every time what's going to happen next, make like a video text out of this. But the reason I pulled this up is that this just came through Breakthrough Broker. Is that what it's called? Is it called Breakthrough Broker? Or am I making that up?
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm getting stuff from.
Okay, all right. So that sometimes they have some really good stuff in there. This was just a really simple thing that I would just have this is just, when the things come about next steps, just tell them. And then if you want to make a video of it, just make a video of this page of you talking about what the next steps are. And then it's one of those things, just like this by memory or design, when you have a buyer or when you have a listing, all of a sudden you hit send and it goes out and your life is easier, but you're living it by design because everybody's getting your stuff the way you want them to get it. But anyway, the reason I pulled this up is that I took 2 minutes of grabbing a picture and it's really supposed to be a logo down at the bottom of the page. I just put our thing of Jose and me with the podcast, but I didn't actually even know that it was getting ready to put this on a page, so I was just messing with it. But anyway, my point is it's very simple. You can go back into your email, grab this. It's easy to download, have it. And like I said, if you want to, because we all know video is more effective than the other stuff, make a video with this. Just you talking about it. Here's the script. It's right here. You don't even make it up. You just say, hey, okay, home buyer roadmap. Okay, so by show of hands, anybody want this? Okay, and then if you go back to your Breakthrough Broker, it is in the, I think it was last week. I don't know. I don't even want to say. I just know it's the last one I got, I think. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to pull out here is a while back when we were all talking about how do you get listings. Hi,
Hello, guys. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, I can move over.
Thanks. Sorry, guys. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
It's been one of those days.
Okay,
I'm pulling it up.
you're gonna pull this up.
We're switching now.
Okay, all right, so just real quick, so we've gone through by memory or design, the simple video text of steps to the next deal, roadmap. Do that for your listing too. Okay, so let's talk about, this is something we talked about before too. A few extra ideas of getting listings. Now, Kay does this one. It's going into a place that you like, that you feel like is your domain, your kingdom, and you send out what they call here is a yikes letter. Like there's nothing left on the market, and I've got these people who want to live in here. And they even give you the simple. this is just simple language that it just is a sample example. Dear Mr. Mr. and Mrs. Roberts, I'm currently representing a wonderful family. Describe them as much as you want to, who desperately wants to raise their kids in this specific community type of property. And as you might know, there are none available. I'm writing because I'm just wondering, have you had thoughts of selling? This letter can't hurt you, because the only thing that could come out of it is somebody says, you know what, I could possibly be interested. This also kind of coincides with, if you're doing what we've been talking about, I know Sarah Umstead and some others are using postcards in their farm area where they're telling them, you know, something's being listed in their on Olson Street, and this could possibly change the value of their home. All these things combined with something like this could bring somebody to the forefront to say, well, maybe I should talk to Kay. And Kay, you've had that happen. I mean, you actually had somebody that was interested, they wanted to be in that specific neighborhood, and you sent out a letter, and you actually got somebody that did they call you back?
They did, they called me
Yeah.
back, and we did get to see the house, unfortunately. We didn't
Yeah, it didn't-
close on it, but
They called you.
they called me, and I did another one with a rental situation. I had a seller that was going to be selling his condo, so I reached out to investors in that same complex to see if they were interested, because the seller didn't want to be on the market. He didn't want, you know, it was all kinds of quirky stuff. So we reached out to anybody that was a non-owner occupant, or it was basically anybody that owned more than one condo in the complex, and then reached out to them as an investor. And it worked out great. And I did have somebody, and then my seller lost his job and couldn't move.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is it's that's a technique, something you can do once a month, you know, and it doesn't hurt. It's just a thing that you just put into a column and say, I'm going to send this out, and I'm going to combine it with anything else that I'm doing in that area, that farm area. So let's stay within the farm area here and talking about listings. And so here's something I thought was interesting. Okay, we can go back. So it's the steps to niche farming. The reason why I thought this was interesting is there is a way that you can go into with Remind being specifically one of them, where it's steps to niche farming, because I skipped around on it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so the interesting thing about this is this is kind of going in and peeling the onion back a little bit and saying, I'm going to go in and look for houses that have been owned by 10 plus years. Why would we want to do that?
More likely to sell.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. So go in and you peel this back and you say, okay, I'm going to go in looking for 10 plus years, you know, fits your criteria, whatever it is, you know, size home or whatever, but if it's in your farm area, you know. So 10 plus years, I like that. That's a different type of strategy than just carpet bomb. 10 plus years. Okay, but here's what I like. Here's what I like even more about it. Okay, so I peel it back and I've got my 10 plus year people. I put them in a basket. What do I start sending the 10 plus year people? This is what's interesting. My 10 plus year people start getting things about moving. Topics that I would send to my 10 plus year people in a postcard or whatever. Organizing and decluttering. Renovation projects that make sense prior to sale. Buying or selling without moving twice. Tax consequences of a sale. Resources for a proper repair of the home. Estate sales, junk haulers, out of the agent referral. So if I'm doing this, doesn't it make sense like this to hit them with stuff that it gives them information about the ease of or the information they need to move? I like that. And that's a specific strategy in your farm area that's a little bit different than a carpet bomb. These are going to be people that you put into their own basket, 10 plus year people, and you're hitting them with different information. And that could get you something. Subliminal. But it is. I mean, you're hitting them with information that's like, huh. And every time they get this, they're thinking, well, maybe it would be okay for us to go and list this house. You know, if these are what the renovation projects are, we could afford to do that right now. We could do some of it ourselves. We could paint, we could do this, we could do that. But anyway, I like this idea because it's different than just the overall carpet bomb. I'm not saying carpet bomb is bad either. I'm just saying this does something a little bit different than that because it's going deeper into it. Okay, so talking about, let's just keep talking about let's go to absentee owners outreach. And this reminded me of when Lynn and I were messing around with Remind, that you can go into Remind and it'll tell you if the person lives there or not, if they own it, but they don't live there. So wouldn't it make sense to go in to a place, again, I'm talking about places that we're interested. I'm not talking about all of St. Charles. I'm talking about where you live, breathe, work, place that you want, your kingdom. Going in and finding out who's renting and then contact, because you can get their contact information in Remind. And I'm trying to think, Len, it gives, in Remind, doesn't it also give a lot of times their phone number?
numbers
Yeah.
and email address.
And email. Both things that you
Tells
desperately
you
need.
what their mortgage is.
Yeah,
What their
what they owe, if
interest
they owe
rate is.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so this might take a little while to do. But the method to this madness is to pump up the volume on why it would be so great to sell right now. Giving them your market intelligence of why they could benefit greatly by becoming, instead of a tenant, cashing out. And you might even throw in a 1031 exchange type idea of, you know, places they could buy. Maybe it's lake, maybe it's beachfront property, whatever. And that works in a referral for you. Right? And then maybe the person that they sell it to is a person that's living in it. It's living in the house. So that's called like a double dip thing, which Kay likes and a lot of people like, is go ahead and hit them twice and get the whole commission. Anyway, this is another technique, guys, that if you're looking for something that you're not doing, that you could be doing, that's a little bit different. I like these two things because they shave it down a little bit. The 10+ years, and you can go into Remind and you can find that information. And the same thing with the absentee owners. It'll take you a little bit more time, but you don't have to do 500 at a time. You can do 20, you can do 30. And if you get 2 or 3 back, it's pretty good, right?
The mouse and keyboard quit working.
Did it really?
No, neither one's, I mean, it shows blue, both of them. I know what's been going for today.
That's crazy.
It was part of the skit.
It is part of the skit. So what do we do now?
I don't know. Keep talking and training.
There's
and
more batteries in there.
It's
though.
not, 'cause it's solid blue,
Okay.
so it's not that,
Okay.
and it's for both of them.
Well, okay, I'll just keep going. You guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You see us?
Nobody can see anybody. Okay. All right, while I got this, the other thing that I know that we've talked about, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring back up is, because the next sheet on here was call your entire database. Well, that's a lot of people, right? So you want to break that down. What does that mean? Call my entire database. Okay, well, call all the people in your phone. Okay, that's a ton of people. What we were talking about a week or two ago was break it down into the 25 or 50 people who might give you or already have given you a referral business. Immediately try to reach out to those people and stay in touch with them. And you should be anyway, because if those 25 to 50 people are your avid fans and they're giving you business, you need to call them up and say hi. How's it going? How are the kids? What'd you do this weekend? What'd you do over the lake? You know, what'd you do? How just find out whatever they're doing, touch base. Human to human contact. Get them back into your fold so that they don't forget about giving you another lead. So yes, great idea. to contact your whole database, and you have to break that out into, you know, maybe 25 people a week. But your first go at that is those 25 to 50 avid fans, contact them, say hi. Say hi. Let them know that you still like them and that you appreciate them giving you business, because you do, right? Yeah. We're in the middle of seeing if our things gonna work here, so. I lost the piece of it. How many of you guys are carving out that 25 to 50 people that are your avid fans? Because I know we've talked about it, but I mean, really go in and figure out and tag them. Has anybody done that yet? Just, have you done okay?
Well, I have my database kind of tagged by, you know, A's and B's and
Yeah.
C's, and, you know, and that's how I do a lot of my mailings and stuff too. And my postcards are like my top 100, and those are people that have posted in the news, or even, you know, quite a while ago, but they're good referral sources or things like that.
Yeah,
So,
so you have done that. That's. No,
Mark's trying to get him in the back.
okay. All right. Sorry, guys, we're just, we're gonna stay on this page for a while.
but it's important to stay.
It's all right, it's a good page. That's the 10+ years page.
There you go.
Well, we have lost contact to our.
The keyboard and the mouse.
keyboard and the
and the-
mouse. We're-
Practicing for something.
It's a Saturday Night Live skit, how to run a Zoom call, and all fails. Sorry, guys.
At least they can still hear you.
They can, I think. Okay, the other thing that I ran across, since you can't see, I'll talk about it, was I always look and see what Ninja's got going on. And when we were talking about, you know, your people, whether you're listing or you've got buyers, you want to make it easy for them to think that the process is at least something that they're going to understand. So I ran across this deal where Larry was talking about, Larry Kendall, who's the founder of Ninja. People get really scared by these contracts. Have you ever run across that? People get scared by contracts, these real estate
For
contracts.
sure. Hard to believe.
Hard to believe,
Absolutely.
but they do. People get scared by these contracts. And when they get scared by the contracts, it makes your job harder. How do you ease that pain for this? Here's what Larry said. He said, break it down like this. There's 5 key negotiating points in a purchase agreement. 5 key negotiating points in a purchase agreement. And give them to them so that they know what you're going to be doing for them, and that it's really not as overwhelming as they think it's going to be. Anybody know what one of them is? One of the 5 key points in a purchase agreement?
Price.
Price, it's number 1. Price is number 1. What would be another one? What's another thing you're going to negotiate in?
Special terms.
Yeah, terms. That's number 2. You got dates, right? When are we gonna do this? When's it gonna be done? You've got inclusions and exclusions. That's number 4. And you got contingencies. Okay, so those are the 5 things. If you really break it out, let's go over that again. As Kay said, you have price. Always. Always. I don't know if we'll ever negotiate a contract, a real estate contract, without a price. Terms, we're always going to have terms. Those are the things we have to negotiate to the terms. Dates, when are we going to do this? Inclusions and exclusions and contingencies. Wouldn't that be nice just to tell them that's what we're going to do? That sounds like, first of all, that you know what you're doing. You know, hey, Kylie, don't get all freaked out about this 55-page document. Here's what I'm going to do for you. We're going to do 5 things in this thing, and I'm going to do it all for you. And then you just lay it out. Just lay it out for them. And it gives them confidence that you know what you're doing, you're not overwhelmed, you're just soothing the seas, changing the sails as the wind flows, everything's good. And here's the 5 things that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
It'll be easy. But I think it's a great strategy. Great strategy to, when you get to that point, I think probably every single client you have has anxiety about that next step of the contract. But if you come at it with, I'm gonna do these 5 things for you, and I got this, and here's what they are, we're gonna take care of this. So anyway, just one more time, it's price, it's terms, it's dates, it's inclusions, it's exclusions, and contingencies. And you're gonna do that anyway, but it's nice to tell them up front, because they'll be happy with you. We can't get back to them.
No, we cannot. Mark's in there, he said it's a
Bluetooth,
Bluetooth, so
Yeah.
we need to restart the whole computer.
okay.
We'll do that one.
Well, guys, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What would you consider inclusions and exclusions?
Oh, well, inclusions, I'm gonna keep this chandelier. I like that stereo system. I don't want you to have my refrigerator. I don't know.
I don't want the trampoline.
I don't want the trampoline. I want the trampoline.
Get all those broken down cabinets out of the basement.
Yeah, I want those air conditioners in the basement.
That's right. Right, yeah, that was a good one. I love
That was a good one. All those were included, right?
Yeah,
Is
what
there-
about contingencies? An example for contingencies.
Well,
My house is.
I mean, inspection's a big one.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's like, a contingency would be, I gotta sell my house. Those are big contingencies.
Like
There's all
some-
kinds of
Like
other
some,
contingencies. What's that?
like some sellers, for instance, would want to put their house up for sale, but they have to have a contingency that they have to move out at so many times, or they need so many extra weeks. So
Yeah.
like if a buyer comes along, Everett, and they want to move in right away, and it's not gonna work for that particular seller.
Yeah, or it could be, in this market, it could be a contingency, that I gotta live here for 4 months until I find a house.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you never know what a contingency can be, but, and there, obviously there's less contingencies than we usually have right now.
Mhm.
Because a lot of these contracts are coming in with no contingencies, no inspections, no appraisals, so
Hey,
that will
Brent,
change. Yes,
can you send me this information that you have on the screen when you get a
yeah,
chance?
in fact, I'll just go ahead, because, I'll just go ahead and see. Sorry, is that okay? So we've got,
I can email it to everybody.
okay, Kristen's just gonna email it out to everybody. And that's great, because, and the thing of it is, the biggest thing that I want you guys to do is really take a look at, because I think about half of you said you were going by memory or design. Really take a look at that sheet and see how much of that you can make part of what you do every day, or make it yourself, but actually has something by design. Whatever that is that you're working off of, some type of design checklist that you're not forcing yourself into memory. That will make the biggest difference of anything going on in your life for this business, I think. But no, we'll make sure we get all this sent out, and we apologize for the inconvenience of the, I don't even know what you call it, the Bluetooth fiasco here.
Camera's still moving though.
Camera's moving, that is weird. The camera's moving, but it's not showing anything. Anybody else have any questions?
I do. So the CE class, is it at 9 a.m. tomorrow for the credit
Yes,
at the
Yes.
Fit office?
Benton office.
Okay.
Good question, Jamie, yeah. And they're gonna be providing lunch too. Yes, that's Holly. Yeah, can't be late, it's because it's a state thing.
Right.
But they will be providing lunch. And I think we've got like somewhere between 7 to 10 people that are already booked in, so. Anybody else?
I just had a comment.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to what you were talking about, you know, I've had better success with buyers and to spend a little bit of time with them ahead of time and prep them for some of this stuff. Excuse me, because, you know, if you just fly out to the house and show them the house, you know, and then that's it, usually you're one and done, you know, and not in a good way. I mean, half the time they never come back. So, you know, taking that little bit of time up front, you know, showing your value and how you can help them and how you're there for them makes a world of difference.
It's huge. I mean, that, you know, one of the things, yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because that's one of the things coming in new, we teach them momentum is don't ever think just because somebody went to Zillow or they went to somewhere else and they found this home that you're just going to jump in the car and drive away.
Right.
Because right now that's not a good idea because gas is really expensive. Other than that, you will drive around a lot and you've never gotten a commitment from them. So one of the things that we always talk about is that there's a couple of reasons why you don't want to jump in the car. Gas is high, you don't have control, all the other stuff. But if you have them come to the office or meet somewhere, whatever that is, the value of you and who you are and the professional you are goes way up. Because you are showing them that, listen, I've got a plan here. I work by design and I want to find out about you so that when I find out about you by asking these questions, I can go in and find some things out that I wouldn't have been able to find out in the MLS and find things that will fit you. Those are things that you want to be able to share with somebody when you're talking to them, a buyer consult, because they a lot of times are getting that from other people and it really makes you look good. And it makes your job a lot easier. If you ask them the questions of what they're looking for, what they need, and then you have them even fill out, you know, we've got the thing that some people use of their wants and needs. And if they fill that out, you can take that wants and needs thing and go straight into looking for homes and find and funnel those things out. And it just makes your job a lot easier. So, hey, yes, that is so important.
Well, and if you have a lender that you're working with too, getting them in on the meeting as well has been huge, because then they can explain their part of it and they can explain, you know, if they haven't pre-approved them already, or even if they've started the process, they can keep going with, you know, this is why this is important, this is why, you know, and it's just kind of like, then that's that whole team atmosphere too, because then, you know, you have everybody on board to help them out.
And that, doing that, again, when you're building this team, it's confidence, trust, can they get me over the finish line? So by you doing that, bringing somebody in and them seeing that, oh, wow, this is gonna be okay.
Right, I'm not on the island, you know,
Right.
I have a whole team of people
Right.
willing to help me, and it's like, and then you explain about pilot companies, you
Right.
explain about the inspectors, you explain all this stuff that they know that, you know, it's like,
Yeah,
geez, all
you're
I
gonna take care of one.
gotta just find the house, they'll make the rest of it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. That's
So
crucially
basically,
important.
pre-qualify your buyer before you go out and spend your gas and show them homes. Make sure they're pre-qualified for pretty much everything. So
Yeah.
you're on point with that, with asking all the questions.
And Jamie, that is all those questions that you ask at that meeting, you could find out that they're not on go. They're not on go time. They're 6-12 months out.
Right.
That's okay. Because then you're going to stay in touch with them and they're going to be your client 6 to 12 months from now. But if you go out and start showing them houses and they're 6 to 12 months out, you're the only one that's the outsider.
Yeah.
They're going to look at homes and find homes that they like to look at homes, but you aren't going to get anything going because you didn't know that they weren't on go. So yes, Jamie, that's very smart because your time is your time. And it's not that you're going to kick them out of the office. You're just going to put them into a slower drip campaign to make sure you stay in touch with them.
well, and if they're not in position yet too, you're helping them get in that
To get there,
position.
yeah.
So that when that year is up or whatever, you know,
They
they've
are
already
on go.
done the things that they need to do to be a good, strong buyer when the time is right. So,
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, anything else?
Yeah, I have a question. I have two clients that mentioned OfferPad. OfferPad has a number of advertisements on television, and both clients have received postcards regarding what OfferPad could or couldn't do. And I was just wondering what suggestions you might have had for being able to compare the pros and cons of what a real estate agent or I can offer versus what OfferPad is saying that they can offer to clients. Because I noticed that they seem to be very prevalent in terms of advertising pretty strongly recently in different medias, postcards as well as on television.
Well, I think Glenn and I met with OfferPad.
Yeah, so, yeah, they're out to buy houses that need work.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't want you to put it in the MLS. It's just like having an investor, somebody, and then they're gonna list it when they do the work.
Right.
So for me, I'm gonna call my investor that gives me why reap the benefits on that side as well. I don't know if that makes sense, but why would I give it to them for them to go in and paint, do a little bit of work and make profit? I want my investor to buy it so I can list it when
Right.
he's done the work, completed the work.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember that they don't use the same agent in that transaction. I'm trying to remember if that was the one we talked to or if it was the other.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they
one of
have
the-
their
one of
own
the-
people.
yeah, they have
their own people.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let you list it after
Right.
they do the work.
Right.
And the work might not be done the way it should be. They're in a hurry. They're looking for a quick flip. Well, I know a ton of investors I can call for a quick flip. I think we all do.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question, but
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure how OfferPad worked, but I guess what Lynn is saying is that they offer to buy the property, like I guess Home Busters does, and then they resell it through their own people, through their own company. And I was just kind of wondering, well, investors, especially if they have more than one property, want to know, well, why can't they just get the money from OfferPad instead of having to pay a commission to me? And so that gives
They
me a
still
little.
pay, they still gotta pay a 3% commission.
Yeah, they still have a lot of fees involved.
For sure.
That they don't tell you.
You gotta make money somehow,
Yeah,
Everett.
yeah, okay.
Oh, that's open door too. You know, they're trying to buy enough stuff, but I went and looked at their stuff the other day too. They have a lot of things that have been on the market for a long time. And part of it is they don't do any marketing. I mean, they're located in Arizona. I'm sure they have some local company that plants their sign, but other than that, they do nothing.
Right.
You know.
Other than
Riley's
make-
worked with them, you know.
Other than make a transaction very difficult.
Exactly. And I think that word is out because a lot of their stuff.
and once that word gets out like that, that's.
Yeah,
not
properties
good.
are sitting, a lot of the open door properties, that's the other thing, guys, a lot of the open door properties are sitting there. Because a lot of them don't, a lot of agents don't even want to touch it because it's such a hassle to deal with.
Well, Kylie had the one buyer, was that open door?
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to see the property, they have to send you, I think I have this right, a code to get in the door.
Hmm.
She got out, closed the door, and they said, you know what, we want to look at something, the kitchen again, whatever. And so now she's got to call, make another appointment. So it's very inconvenient, make another appointment because it immediately changed the code on the door. Well, that's a pain, depending on the weather and
Yeah.
people are tired and all that sort of thing.
Maybe Showtime, that's all.
Right.
Yeah,
through the
it's not
phone.
connected at this time.
There's no, the
Yeah,
human,
exactly.
as Jose uses the word all the time, the humanization is totally removed when you're doing a transaction with a company like that.
Mhm.
They're sitting me on my platform and phone calls. And just does not make sense.
They don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, never, that's probably the main thing to tell them too, is that, you know, they lose all personal contact.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Because I'm taking my buyer to the title company for closing, and those companies can't offer that kind of service from a long
But
distance.
we have
Yeah.
to, as here at Remax Gold, we have to prove our value, right? You can't just walk in. It's our value, and we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
if you don't tell the people what it is that you can offer them, they don't know. They think that they could get it cheaper by something that they saw on television. And so that's kind of really what I need to know, a punch line of what it is I can offer in comparison to what they're offering too.
Even the funding of the transaction can be a problem.
Oh,
too,
my
because,
God.
You know, they want you to work with an out-of-state title company. And, you know, by the time they fund it, if you're selling to buy something else, that could ruin the other transaction. You know,
Well, with interest rates continuing to climb, if you've got so much time, right? And then that lot is gone,
Mhm.
and then it could increase 0.5%. And now your buyer suffers for it because they didn't get
Yeah.
done what they were supposed to.
That's happening in the
Buyer
market as
and
we
seller,
speak.
so, yeah. It's a problem on both
Yeah.
sides.
That's going on now. All right, guys. Sorry about the deal, but I think we still had good conversation.
See you next time.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll talk to you all later. Thanks for being on.